Three, two, you ain't going nowhere. What? Welcome to DC. One more time, say we ain't going nowhere. Welcome to DC. Hey yo, welcome back to another episode of the Arts Block Podcast. I am your host, Eric Curry the Third. Man, oh man. Boy, do we have a pod for you today. First things first, though, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you can be notified every time we post a podcast. If you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, make sure you give me a 5-star and a review. You can just say that this is the greatest podcast that you have ever heard in your life, and that will suffice. Man, y'all know how I'm from DC, just in case you didn't know. I'm from Washington, DC, the nation's capital. Excuse me. And if y'all don't know how like I feel about DC, I think there's two cities that are like in competition for the greatest city of in the world, right? There's New York City and then there's Washington DC. Washington DC is probably the greatest city in the world just because there's nothing you can't do here. Like you know how like in the song Empire State of Mind, New York, there's nothing you can't do. No, in DC, there's really nothing you can't do. Like really, really, like genuinely, right? And you know how there's nothing you can't do, right? Because back in the day, way back in the day, right, when my parents were young, back in the day, we had a mayor. That mayor's name was Marion Barry. Don't worry. This story I'm about to tell y'all, I'm looping back around. I'm looping. I promise. It's this story is gonna come full circle. I promise you, this story is gonna come full circle. Back in the day, before I was born, when my parents were young, we had this mayor called Marion Barry. Marion Barry is a legend, right? DC legend, right? I'm not gonna say what we call him in the city yet until after I explain this story, right? So Marion Barry is DC legend, right? DC mayor for I don't even know how many years, a lot of years, right? Served 2 terms as DC mayor. His first term as a mayor, Marion Barry, remember, he is the mayor of the nation's capital, the mayor of Washington, D.C., the nation's capital. Marion Barry got caught smoking crack with some prostitutes at a hotel room back in, I think, like this was the 90s, right? And instead of taking any type of accountability, when the feds caught up with him and caught him on videotape, when the feds caught up with him, caught him on videotape, instead of taking any accountability, instead of him saying, you know what, I have a problem, you know what, I have an addiction, you know what, there's something wrong, Marion Barry got on tape and said, that beep set me up. Word for word, bar for bar. Talking about the prostitute he was with. He was like, that set me up. Word for word, bar for bar. I promise you, word to, I'm not lying, right? However, Marion Barry was so impactful in the community. Right after that, he got, he I think they terminated his like his, I don't know, like you know how they say presidency, they terminated his mayorship. I don't know, but he was not mayor no more after that, right? The niggas in DC loved Marion Barry so much they voted him back after being a crackhead with prostitutes. I don't want to say crackhead. Marion Barry was not a crackhead. After getting caught smoking crack with prostitutes, they voted him back for him to do a second term. And you know what Marion Barry is called in DC? If you ask any Washingtonian ever in life, well, not ever in life, because the younger Washingtonians might not know, but any Washingtonians that grew up from like the 80s, well, like the 70s to like the 2000s, people that was like alive during that time, you know what they call Marion Barry? DC's mayor for life. That nigga, it doesn't matter who else is the nigga. Barack Obama himself can become the mayor of DC today. Marion Barry is the DC mayor for life. Let's bring it on to 2024, right? Man, dude, that was like in the late 80s, early 90s, I believe. Let's bring it to 2024 today. First thing on the docket. Trayon White, council member for Ward 8, Washington, D.C., gets arrested by the FBI over bribery. What the? This is not funny. This is not funny. This is not funny because Trayon White is my man. Trayon White is my man, so I'm gonna tread during this. That's not why I'm not, I'm not, I'm not laughing. No, stop. I know what y'all thinking. I'm not laughing because he got caught with. I'm not laughing because of that. That's not why I'm laughing. I'm laughing because this is crazy because this is the second time a politician that's held in high regard gets caught with some craziness in the city. Like, what is going on? Every couple years, we just get it's just another politician that gets caught with something else. And it's just first it was crack, now it's bribery. Lord Jesus. So if y'all don't know the story, right? Trayon White, council member of Ward 8 DC. If y'all don't know what Ward 8 is, Ward 8 is southeast, right? It's like it's I don't want to call it the slums because I feel like the slums is a bad terminology, but it's it's the part of the city that needs a lot of focus and work. Ward 7s and Ward 8s in Washington D.C. If you ever talk to somebody from Washington D.C. and they be like, if you ask them where they from, and they don't, and they say like a ward, they be like, oh, I'm from Ward 7 or I'm from Ward 8. Just think, oh, your part of the city needs a lot of love, care, and attention. Just think of it that way, right? So he's the council member of the part of the city that needs a lot of love, care, and attention, right? People in Ward 8 love him. He's from Southeast, grew up, raised in Ward 8, went to DC public schools, man of the people. He had a past on him, so he can understand like with the kids. He can relate to the kids. He's a younger guy. Woo, right? So apparently, word on the street is not word on the street. It's documents. Like y'all can look this up. It's like 30 something pages worth of documents. There was this group in the city that was getting a lot of funding by the city, right? And their program was based on stopping like youth violence, I believe. Their program was about to get cut from the DC's budget. So they told Mr. White, the council member White, they said, hey, if you can convince the other council members to keep our program, you can get 3% of all, I think like 3% of like all deals in or like all negotiations that were made with the program or whatever the case may be, right? Trayon White was like, cool. I think all of that added up to about 100, like upwards of $150,000. So they made the deal. The dudes that ran the program, right? They were in the car, made the deal with Trayon White. Whole time when they was in the car making the deal, they recorded them the same way they recorded Marion Barry. That set me up. I'm telling you, it's a hoax. We're cursed. DC is cursed. It's a hoax. We can't make this up. So they recorded him in the car making the bribery deal, right? When the dudes was getting caught up, I don't know what they were getting caught up for. They might have been getting caught up by the FBI for like mismanaging funds from the DC government, right? So they were getting caught up for something, the people that was running the program. To get the people off their back, they done snitched on the council member, saying, "Oh well, he took the deal for the golly." And you know, we all know bribery in politics isn't nothing new, right? Most, I'm not gonna say all politicians do it, but most politicians do it for the most part, right? It's a good majority of politicians that will take a good bribe if you give it to them, right? Most humans, right? If you give a human a good deal, a deal that you cannot refuse, 9 times out of 10 they're going to take that deal, right? And that's okay. However, you have to know the people you're taking the deal from. He took the deal. He took a bribe from some niggas. He took the bribe from some niggas. And that right there is what's going to get you in trouble, sir. That right there is going to get you in trouble. However, shout out to those men that never mind. No, not shout out to you because y'all are dead wrong for getting that man caught up like that. Y'all are dead wrong for getting that man caught up like that. And all I kept thinking about, right, is like all I kept thinking about, right, is I was scrolling through the comments on Instagram, right, and people. This was before like the whole what he got arrested for came out. All the only thing that we saw was that he got arrested, and I was scrolling through the comments on Instagram, looking, and I seen somebody say, "Man, free baby Barry," talking about Marion Barry, and boy, I lost it. I I done lost it. Now I know y'all like Eric. This has nothing to do with arts and entertainment, but I'm sorry. This is my home that I'm talking about. I listen. In my mind, in my mind, these things can go two ways. Listen, this can go two ways, right? This is before the verdict came out. In my mind, this is before like what I found out that what he got arrested for. This can go two ways. This can go really good or this can go really badly. This can go like this could be a mistake. He didn't really do nothing. This is a false arrest. FBI done messed up, right? However, when does the FBI mess up? That's the part that I was missing. When does the FBI be like wrong guy? When when this isn't the local police that we're talking about. No, this is the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Federal Federal Bureau of Investigation. When do they normally mess up? When do you know when have you ever known the FBI to be like, my bad. Never. So as soon as I like, we thought about that. Then the second thought I had was like, nah, he really got into something crazy. And bribery, and the bribe doesn't even sound worth it. Like it didn't even sound worth it. You get 3% of any deal that they get. What type of deals are you making? Who's these deals with? How often are these deals being made? And I only get 3%. I'm the council member. I have a lot of pull. I'm making sure that you all are getting funding. I'm gonna need more than 3% of every deal, big bro. I'm gonna need about 15. I'm gonna need you're going to have to run me 15. But that's just me though. that's just that's that's just me. That's just who I am. That's just who I am. You're gonna, bro. I'm the council member of the city that you're trying to host your program in. Your program is about to get cut from the budget. You're coming to me for your program to stay, and you're going to give me 3%. 3%. Nigga, I know how much your program is getting. I know how much the budget of your program is. I know how much we giving your program. You want to give me 3%? Nah, buddy, up that junk to 15, and we might be talking. We might start talking. Hang up on you, not in the mood. Real hang up on you, not in the mood. We might start talking at 15%. Let me know. Let me know when we get there. But 3% ain't worth it. Bribery for 3% ain't worth it. Let this be a lesson to you all, right? I was about to say something crazy. You are worth more than money. Your integrity and your values inside of you is worth more than any dollar that you can ever get. Your morals and integrity, let me say it one more time. Your morals and integrity within you are worth more than any dollar that you can ever get. So never, what's the word I'm looking for? Never jeopardize your integrity just for a quick buck. However, if your integrity isn't at stake, and this is something that you can live with morally, like you're not losing nothing morally, your integrity is still intact, and you're like, yeah, I can live with this decision that I'm making, right? At least make it worth it. At least make it worth it. I'm not telling y'all to do anything. I'm not telling y'all to go outside and do nothing. But I'm saying if you all decide to do, just make sure that we're thinking up here just a little bit longer than Mr. White did. Treyon White, I love you. Mr. White, we love you. We appreciate all that you have done and doing your advocacy for the city. We appreciate you being a DC native, being in this position as council member. Your story is super inspiring. Your story is great. But you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Next thing on the docket, Vlad versus Marlon Wayans. Ew. So on Twitter, Vlad and Marlon Wayans going back and forth. Long story short, Vlad wanted Marlon Wayans to do an interview. Marlon Wayans said, my price is $40,000 to do an interview, right? Vlad basically went on a big rant saying that Marlon Wayans isn't worth 40,000. His interviews only pull 100 to 300,000 viewers per interview. So why am I paying him 40,000 for an interview? It's not even worth it. Nobody wants to see Marlon Wayans. Marlon Wayans came back and said, I am a legend. Vlad, nobody knows you, and I'm lowballing myself. I'm trying to help you out, player. But hey, we don't got to do the interview if you don't want to do the interview. Vlad went on this whole rant. Marlon Wayans went on the whole rant and ended up dying off. What I wanted to say about this topic is, why are we still supporting Vlad TV? Why black people? We should have been said no to Vlad when he was trying to get that black woman fired from her job. That's when we should have been like, hell no, we should have kicked Vlad to the curb once he was trying to get that black woman fired from her job. One, Vlad has been using black stories, black trauma, blackness for his benefit for far too long. But that little cheap drum set in the back of his... Why does he have that drum set in the back of his interviews? I never understood that. Anyway, that's one. Also, Vlad, along with a lot of other media outlets who speak on hip-hop things, don't do nothing but just incite beef in problems within our community, and he's an outsider and he has suffered no repercussions from that. He has suffered no repercussions from that. He has suffered no losses. He has suffered no fights, no hits, no loss in money. The more you call people out on his platform, the more his stock rises, right? Why do we keep supporting Vlad TV? The interviews be okay. I was about to sit up here and hate. I was about to say the interviews don't be that good. He isn't a good interviewer, but it's the information that the people who are being interviewed is giving that is valuable. But the whole kill is the people that he interviews aren't even they're not people who we hear from very often. So it's not like, I'm not saying that these people aren't worth being interviewed, because they are, but they're just not people that we hear from all the time. So that's why I think that's also the appeal to hearing from a lot of these people that be on that come on his platform. Is we don't know when's the next time are we going to hear from you? We don't know. So we might have to catch this interview. Excuse me, Lord Jesus. I'm sorry, y'all. I had pizza and the pizza it's just all coming up. But no, like I was saying, this might be the last time. I mean, not last time, but we don't know when's the next time we're going to hear from you. So we have to be more just aware, right? Of we just have to be more aware, because we don't know when we're going to hear from you again. That's just the reality. That's just the case in point, right? So I understand the appeal. I understand why people watch it. However, there's so many other platforms we could watch and support, right? Arts Block Podcast is one of them, but excluding Arts Block Podcast, right? If this isn't a platform for you, that's cool. That's fine. Whatever. You know how pastors be at church. Hey, man, if this isn't the church home for you, I understand. Go find a church home that's for you. Go find the pod home that is for you. But go find a pod home that, one, represents the things that you want to be represented. Two, talks about the things that you want talked about. Talks about it in a way that you don't mind it being talked about. Lastly, is entertaining. No, I lied. That wasn't lastly. Lastly, isn't ran by somebody who's impeding on the culture. You know what's crazy? I don't know. I wish I screenshotted that. I don't know what conference or like event it was, but it was a panel of people, right? And it was like a hip hop panel. And it was no POC on that panel. It was nothing but white heat on the whole panel. Now, I don't want people to sit up here and think I have a problem with white people. I don't. I love white people. White people, y'all do some amazing things. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. Only you can let it in. No one else can. White people, y'all can't. Listen, rest can be unwritten. Come on now. You didn't have to cut me off. I know we were younger. Didn't have to need to know. Now you're a stranger and it feels so rough. Y'all be killing some things, right? However, when y'all be getting into black folks' business and black culture, and y'all be getting in these spaces, and then black people be lifting y'all up. However, y'all don't be lifting the culture up. Y'all just be kind of just like using the culture to lift yourselves up, but the culture just stays where it is. That's where my problem becomes with y'all. And also, if you're going to have a panel about hip hop and hip hop journalism and just the hip hop media, right? Why is there no black people on the panel? I feel like there's a problem. What's that girl's name? I'm so awful with this. It's a young black girl that be reporting on hip hop media. It's two young black girls that be reporting on hip hop media. It's one girl. She be on the Breakfast Club sometimes, not all the time, not just hilarious. She be on there sometimes. Um, Dang, she like dark skinned, real beautiful girl. Dang, I forgot her name. And it's another girl that be on my TikTok all the time. She's a huge Freddie Gibbs fan. I wish I can. Dang, I'm drawing a blank right now. But so it's two girls I know right now that are killing it right now in hip hop media space. Just in the media space in general, Speedy Mormon is dog walking a lot of people in the interviewing and media space. Rob Markman, hip hop media journalist legend, even though he's cool, I guess. Elliot Wilson, not Rob. I love Rob Markman, legend in the game. I'm saying, he's cool, I guess. To Elliot Wilson, legend in the media game. He's cool. Big Boy, media legend. Big Tigger, media legend. Shit, get AJ and Free from 106 and Park for all I care. Just get some. Please, guys. This is what I be saying, right? When I be talking about the youth, it's the youth's time to step up, right? We need new faces for the culture, because if our faces stop being the faces for the culture, their faces are going to start being the faces for the culture. And do you know how scary it's going to be if their face is the face for the culture? You don't even want to think about it, do you? Exactly. My point exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. So, Marlon Wayans, please do not go on Vlad TV. Everybody, hold your, I'm not going to tell y'all what to do. What I am going to tell y'all to do is think about who you're supporting. Think about who they are as a person. Think about what they stand for. Think about what they're doing for not just you as a content creator, but the culture that they're trying to represent. And then come back and be like, this might be for me. This might not be for me. Vlad is just personally not for me. That's just not the type of interviewing that I want. That's not the type of stories that I want to hear. I do not need that type of negativity in my life. But if that's what you want, that's what you want to hear, cool. So be it. Shout out to you. Shout out my inward Gucci. Oh, and last thing about Vlad, just so everybody knows, and this can be he tried to get a black woman fired from her job, and she was just simply, I don't know how that interaction started. I think she was calling him out for doing the same things that I'm doing now, that we're doing now, just for being the culture vulture that he is. But yeah, he tried to get her fired from her job, called her job, contacted her job, tried to get her fired. Job was like, nigga, please. And yeah, that's what happened. So I really stopped rocking with Vlad off of that, because I feel like that was a sucker move. I feel like if you're in arts and entertainment, you need a thick skin, my boy, thick skin. Next thing on the docket, I didn't get to touch on this last pod, but Tank, the legendary R&B singer, he went on Stephen A.'s, I think that was Stephen A. Smith's podcast, is when Stephen A. Smith asked him about C Breezy, Chris Brown, or Michael Jackson, Tank said that Chris Brown is basically a better everything than Michael Jackson. He said Chris Brown's a better writer, Chris Brown's a better dancer, Chris Brown's a better performer, Chris Brown's a better. I think he said musician too. I don't. He said Chris Brown over Michael Jackson. That's his take, right? At everything. Now, while Chris Brown is great at a lot of things, Chris Brown needs to be nerfed. Chris Brown has the like. There's something. There's no way he's good at everything. He can do everything. He can sing. He can dance. He can rap. He can play basketball. He can paint. He can act. He can. Chris Brown can. He literally can do. I don't know what he can't do. Like he has to. He has to be illiterate. Like he has to be. He can't. Like he has to be. Like he can't be able to read. Well, he has to be able. He writes his songs, so there's no way he can't. Shit. What? You know what? Let's play the game. Let's play a game. What do you think Chris Brown can't do? Bowling? Nah, he probably can bowl. He probably can bowl. I don't know. This is hard. This is difficult to think about. I don't know what he can't do. But I just know one thing though. He's not better than Michael Jackson. He's not better than Michael Jackson. I'm sorry. He's not a better artist than Michael Jackson. He's not a bigger artist than Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson walked so a lot of people can run. Michael Jackson crawled so a lot of people can walk. Let's take a journey just back in time, right? And this is coming from a Michael Jackson fan. From since a little boy, been a Michael Jackson fan, right? Michael Jackson was a superstar at the age of what 4, 5 years old. He was a superstar, megastar, hit maker, legendary. So you telling me from you telling me I don't think Michael Jackson when he was alive remembered a time where he wasn't famous. Like there's no like I don't think he remembered a time where he wasn't he was from literally when when his brain started remember his first memory had to be when he had to have been famous for his first memory. Like the he's been a hit maker since childbirth. He came out the womb a hit maker. Come on, Nat. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Greatest selling album of all time. Greatest selling one most number well, not anymore, but most number one songs from a male artist, not anymore because Drake tied that record, so they're tied for number one now. But come on, you know how long he held that record for? Aaron sitting up here telling me that Chris Brown. Now, I love Chris Brown. Huge Chris Brown fan. All respect to Chris Brown, his artistry, pen, everything's. But it's Michael. It's Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson. You're telling me the man who hung. You're telling me the man who put his baby on the. That was a wild example. That was a wild example. Nah, but you know, like the example I use every time when I want to depict Michael Jackson's greatness, though. Like every time I think about Michael Jackson's greatness, you want to know the example I pick, the Super Bowl, right? One, Michael Jackson changed the Super Bowl for forever. I just want to put that out. Like he changed the Super Bowl in the halftime. He changed it for the rest of forever. Michael Jackson is literally the. Do y'all get what I'm? Michael Jackson changed a corporation, a sport, a whole sports approach to the halftime show. And then, not only that, Michael Jackson's so cold. Michael Jackson at the Super Bowl halftime show, he popped up on stage and he looked and didn't move. He looked, didn't say a word, didn't move for like 4 minutes. The crowd went crazy. Then all he did was turn his head and the crowd went even crazier. dog. And y'all telling me he's not the greatest artist to ever walk on earth, to ever do anything? The same artist that gave us the Off the Wall, the same artist that gave us Thriller, Bad, Dangerous, back to back to back to back, then Invincible, right? A five who else went on a 5 album run like that? Not Chris Brown. I'll tell you that much. I'm telling you that much. Or you name an artist who went on a 5 album run like that, and it won't be Christopher. And I'm telling you, and Christopher Maurice Brown is an amazing artist. I keep having to say that because I feel like somebody's gonna be like, oh, you hate Chris Brown. No, I love Chris Brown. Chris Brown is an amazing artist, super talented, great at everything. However, it's Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson. And that's just solo Michael. We're not talking about Jackson 5 Michael. When he was when I and you, I treated you bad. He was singing like he had a mortgage. Rent was due. Joe said, Mike, get in this booth. Mike said, I want to play Candy Shop. He said, rent is due, Mike. What? I'm sorry. Shout out Michael Jackson. No, the greatest artist of all time, though. Michael Jackson is the greatest artist of all time to ever walk on earth. And I don't see anybody coming to that level anytime soon. Everything has to be beaten. Everybody has been topped. I believe one day Michael Jackson will be topped. I just don't think that today is the day, and I don't think that Chris Brown is the artist. But Chris Brown has a lot of music, and it's a lot of great music. It's just not. It's Michael Jackson. Last thing on the docket, I'm super excited about this. I kind of rushed that last thing because I've been wanting to get to this. So y'all know how Barack Obama has his own like summer playlist, right? So I took it upon myself to make the Arts Block Podcast 2024 summer playlist. Now I'm not gonna lie to y'all boys. It's a lot of hits on here. It's a lot of bangers on here. I'm gonna give y'all some. I'm probably not gonna get. You know what? I'm gonna post the whole list on Instagram. I'm gonna give y'all how many on. I think it's 17 songs on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, 17 songs on here. I'm gonna give y'all how many songs am I gonna give y'all? I'm gonna give y'all 5 out of the 17 songs, right? My top 5 songs on here, right? So now, mind you, on Obama's playlist, it be songs from any time period. Not all the songs came out in 2024. Not all these songs came out in 2024. It's just the songs that I've been jamming all summer. That's it. The songs that been on repeat for me all summer. Number 1 song that's been on repeat for me all summer is Summer's Over Interlude, Drake featuring Majid Jordan. That song has been on my brain for the whole summer. That song's been on my brain. And it's been on repeat on everything. In my brain, in my headphones, on my speaker. It's been on repeat. Summer's Over Interlude, that's my number 1. Number 2 song that's been in my head, in my brain, is I Want You Around, Snow Allegra. Now I don't know what's going on with me. But Stink, if you watch Stink, if you watching this, I want you around. That's it. That's all. It heard you. Next song on the docket, of course, I have to add Not Like Us on there, A minor. Of course, I have to have Not Like Us on there. Kendrick Lamar. Next song on here, 86 Centra by No Worries. If y'all haven't listened to the No Worries album, it's an amazing project. Y'all should definitely go ahead and check that out. Last song I'm gonna put on here. Last song that is on here what am I trying to say? Last song that I'm gonna give y'all that's on here. Last song that I'm gonna give y'all out. Yeah, last song I'm gonna give y'all. Because I know y'all ain't gonna go to church on Sunday, or y'all didn't go last Sunday. he turned it Ty Tribbett. Go get some Jesus in you, man. He turned my morning into dancing. He turned my sorrows into joy. Yeah, that's just 5 songs on the list. We got some we got some K Tronada on the list. We got some Brent on the list. We got some La Russell on the list. We got a little bit of everything on the list. You feel me? So if you want to check out my full Arts Block Podcast summer playlist, please make sure you follow me on Instagram at Arts Block Podcast. Go check this thing out. This was super fun to make. I loved it so much. And also, if you want, make sure you send over your summer playlist. Let me know some songs y'all got on your summer playlist. Let me know like what y'all been listening to. Tap me into the music that y'all like to listen to. Please. I want to know what y'all be listening to. I want to know what y'all be feeling. I want to know what y'all be rocking to, what y'all be dancing to, what y'all be playing in the car, what y'all be playing when y'all sad, what y'all be playing when y'all happy. Turn me on, put me on some new artists, man. I'm always open to listening to new artists, and you should always be open to watching another amazing episode of the Art Spot Podcast. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I have been your host, Eric Curry III. Remember, I'm tweaking. We have to do Dead or Alive. Now, if you are on the podcast and this is your first time watching the Art Spot Podcast, hello. This is your last time watching the Art Spot Podcast. Well, goodbye. But Dead or Alive is a segment on the podcast where the artist on the podcast gets to choose other artists that we would like to work with that is dead or alive. Now, we can choose one artist. We can choose 100 artists. This is my podcast. I'm going to do whatever I want. You know what? I'm not going to choose artists. You know who I want to work with? I'll be Dead or Alive. RIP my dog. I want Marion Barry. Marion Barry. I feel like John Lewis would be a dog to work with. And what's that lady? I think her name is Jasmine Crockett. I think that's her name. Jasmine Crockett, the lady that be the bad built bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that lady. I think her name is Jasmine Crockett. I want her. I just want to meet her, have a conversation with her. That's it. That's all I want to do. To all the people I shouted out on the podcast, shout out to you. I appreciate all that we do. We are the culture. We are bringing up the culture. Thank y'all so much for tuning into another episode of the Art Spot Podcast. I appreciate y'all so much. My name is Eric Curry III. You can follow me on Instagram at Eric Curry III. You can follow the podcast at Art Spot Podcast. Like I was saying earlier, to everybody that I shouted out today on the pod, thank y'all so much for inspiring me. All the media folks that I shouted out, thank y'all so much for inspiring me. Making me want to be better at this craft, making me want to be better at arts and entertainment, making me want to be better at media. You guys are the culture. You guys are the culture. We are the culture. Let's keep dominating the culture as we, keep moving, keep pushing, for sure. Yeah. If you watch this podcast on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you can be notified every time we post a podcast. If you listen on your favorite podcast platform, please give me a 5-star and a review. You can just say that this is the greatest podcast you have ever heard in your life, and that will suffice. Remember that artists never die. Remember that I love you, God loves you. Yeah, I'm out. No inspiration for today. I'm kind of inspiration out. I don't know what to give y'all. I'll just see y'all next week. Hopefully prayerfully, things are better next week. Peace out.